Hello everyone and welcome to another Young Adult Book Talk with the Madison Regional Library. I'm Stephani Moore, one of the librarians in the Youth Services Department, and today we're going to a different place. We're going to one of our branches in Luray, the Page Public Library, and they have an amazing selection of young adult books, and I have chosen a few today to talk about. And since it was February, I thought I would do some romance books, and I try to get things that were a little different. I mean, everyone has heard of Twilight, and I wanted to get books that had very different romances because everyone is unique and different, and each of these romances that I'm going to talk about today is a little different and unique as well, and they're all great reads. Let's start with our graphic novel. This is called Bloom by Kevin Panetta, and it takes place the summer after Aristotle or Aries High School graduation and his sister's wedding, and his parents want him to continue to work at the family bakery, but he has a dream of becoming a musician instead. So he places ads to find an assistant baker, so hopefully his parents can get the help, but he could go pursue his dream as well. But then by chance he runs into Hector on one of his delivery runs, and Hector just moved to the area, and he's going to culinary school, which seems perfect. So Ari convinces his dad to hire Hector as the baking assistant. And Hector's sunny, outgoing personality, it meshes surprisingly well with Ari's more thoughtful and moody one. And as the summer progresses, their friendship blooms into something more romantic. And however, there's a tragic accident that happens that threatens to break up this blooming romance, unless both Ari and Hector can fight through their fears to make things right. And the first thing that when I was looking through this graphic novel is the gorgeous artwork. I mean, beautiful shades of blue. It's reflecting the settings at a beach, the town life, the flowers. They have a lot of good scenes of when they're cooking together in the bakery. They even have a recipe in the back, which is really cool. And I liked how the story was well-paced. This is over 300 pages long, but it definitely didn't feel like it. And there was fun interaction. The side characters were great too. Both Ari and Hector's friends and Ari's family were great. And what I like is real romance is never perfect, and Pannetta realistically depicts both Ari and Hector as very likable, but they've still got some flaws, and things aren't perfect, but their relationship grows in small and important ways, like the first time they texted, the first time they took a road trip, and he does a great job of portraying that in this graphic novel. So overall, it's a lovely romance and a lovely illustrated graphic novel, and I'm going to just show you a few pictures inside of it real quick. Alright, moving on to our next book. It is called When Dimple Met Rushi by Sandhya Menon. And this book follows two Indian teenagers, and both Dimple and Rushi's families have been planning their marriage for years. Because both of them immigrated from the same area of India, it seemed like the perfect match. They were going to meet at a summer program in San Francisco for web developers, and Rushi was so excited to meet Dimple. He got his great-grandmother's ring. He was just looking forward to it. He fell in love with her picture, and so on the orientation day, he spots Dimple on campus, and he greets her as his future wife, and that he couldn't wait to get started with the rest of their lives together. And what does Dimple do? She throws her iced coffee in his face and runs away, because while their families had planned this, they forgot one very important detail. They forgot to tell Dimple about it. And this book begins a crazy chaotic summer at their camp, and both of them end up working together on the same coding app project too. And Rushi is still determined to show Dimple that they are meant to be. Even while their families try to arrange their marriage, they could still love each other by their own choice. And this novel is hysterical. It's just very funny. It's by far the most lighthearted romance of the books I've chosen. And I like the incorporation of Indian culture, how Dimple's parents speak in Hindi. I like how both characters are complex. Dimple can be surly, she can be cold, but she's really focused about her family, using her app that she's developing to help her dad manage her diabetes rather than her own gain or fame. And I like how they support each other. Like Rushi supports Dimple in her coding abilities, and she supports him with his artwork. And they both make sacrifices throughout the book to help each other support their dreams. And the side characters aren't too great with it. I feel like whenever the book focuses on them, it goes a little takes away from Dimple and Rushi, who are more interesting characters, but it's not too bad, I feel. And it's a really funny book, and I highly recommend it. A lighthearted romance makes this book a very fun read indeed. And the last book I wanted to talk about today was The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and this book most of it follows a single day in New York City destined to change the lives of both Daniel and Natasha. And they couldn't come from more different backgrounds. Daniel is a first-generation Korean American with his strict yet loving family pressuring him to go to Yale. But he wants a different life. He has different expectations, a different journey. He's more interested in poetry. And while Natasha is an undocumented immigrant from Jamaica, and she is on a crucial mission to prevent her deportation because it's going to happen in 14 hours unless she can get a court order to stop it. And she's desperate. She's trying to rationalize all the chaos in her life through science. And then their paths cross in a record store as Natasha is trying to meet with the lawyer. And along the way, Daniel decides to help her because he learns parts of her story and he's really attracted to her. And so they learn about each other, and they both hope that their paths will never have to uncross again after this fateful day. And first of all, what I liked about this is that the novel's emphasis that love is perceived in many different ways by different people. Like, while most of the chapters are either from Daniel or Natasha's views, you get other chapters in there that are from different characters, like how they view Daniel and Natasha, or just like little essays on love. And I like this romance the most because they both of them realize that love can't be made in a single day, but the possibility of it can be sensed instantly. And my favorite quote from this book is, "Maybe you don't love them right away, but it is inevitable that you will." And this is a bit more realistic than the other two novels as well. And this one, it explores the racism of Daniel and to a lesser degree Natasha's family and the unfortunate realities that interracial couples face in real life. And also the stresses and realities of undocumented immigrants as well. And despite the harsh realities that both of them face, there's some well-placed humor in there to break up the tension. Especially, my favorite part is when they bust Natasha's ex-boyfriend and the girl that cheated on her for him was caught shoplifting, and they were able to catch them in the act. So it's well paced. It mostly takes place in a day, as I mentioned earlier, but it's just the story unfolds so well, and it's really sweet and really neat, and it's a wonderful and realistic romance that I hope you will love as much as I do. So thank you for joining me again for another Young Adult Book Talk. I look forward to sharing more books with you soon. Have a good day. Bye.